Hey, kids.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God, it's time to do another podcast.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, Darin.
kill me.
Darin just got back from vacation. Oh, boy. I'm going to not like this one.
Are you cooking beans? What time is it? Is Zorro on?
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, 100% certified fresh. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, everybody, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 83.
We're going to be talking about your vacation.
Yes. Well, and then you took some time off and went around. You went to Indiana, right?
Yeah.
That's not a vacation. That's more like a sentence.
Boy, howdy. But it gives a preview to how our real vacation is going to go later in the year. So I'll mention something about that later.
I think I know exactly
a lot of driving.
Yeah.
And some comments were made that brought me pause.
Anyway, we've got just a giant laundry list of things to talk about tonight, so we're going to get right to it. Before we talk about my vacation, I wanted to mention that we have new patrons to the show. We have Leslie Hole and Craig Hole. They're I don't know why.
He's just a Craig Hole.
He's a Craig. Stop that.
Okay.
He can't help that that's his last name.
Yeah.
Just like I can't help my last name.
Yeah.
So I take offense when you make offense at his stupid name. So stop that.
Okay.
Now, they are
What was Leslie's maiden name?
Collie.
Collie Hole?
Yeah. Yes.
That's the name of my band in
Yeah,
college.
you're in a band called Collie Hole.
Yeah.
I'm sure she got cauliflower too. Yeah.
Ah, waka waka waka.
So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because
My
they're patrons.
collie got colic in its collie hole.
Uh-huh.
I'm here all night.
Yes. Thank God. Anyway,
You can edit all that out.
I can, yeah. They like this show so much that they said, damn it, we're going to financially contribute to the success of this show. And they have decided to send us money each month, which is fantastic. And thank you so much. And if you want to become a patron, you can do that. You can go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, go to the section called Patreon. There are several different plans. Some are inexpensive and some are a little pricier. The pricier ones, you get more stuff. But anyway, if you want to do that, I fully welcome you to do that. Anyway, Craig and Leslie are new patrons, and with that, they get a voicemail message from Dave Lay. So we're going to listen now to Leslie's voicemail message.
You've reached the voicemail of Leslie Hole. She can't come to the phone right now. She's too busy plotting revenge against Darin Cox for a prank that was plotted more than 30 years ago. Leave a message and she'll call you back. This message has been brought to you by Irritable Dad Syndrome.
That was awesome. And now we're going to listen to Craig's.
I was going to ask if Craig.
Yeah, Craig gets one too.
You've reached the voicemail of Craig Hole. Craig can't answer the phone right now. As you may know, Craig is a badass truck driver, traveling the roads all over the great southern portion of these United States. Leave him a message and he'll call you back. This message is brought to you by Irritable Dad Syndrome.
So there you go. If you want to become a patron, if you want Dave Lay to record a voicemail message for you, you can. Now, here's the cool thing.
Okay. What's the cool thing?
They sent us something.
Yeah.
They sent us a
package.
gift, a box.
So if you're watching on stream and
it's a cardboard box.
Yeah, burn in hell if you're not.
This reminds me a little bit of that last scene in Seven with Brad Pitt. What's in the box?
Okay.
What's in the box?
So I have the Irritable Dad Syndrome
pocket
box
knife.
Opening tool.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm
careful,
making the first cut.
Be careful, cut away from the body. Good God, that knife isn't sharp enough to cut butter.
Okay. All right. This is...
So he's...
okay, there's one end.
Okay, one end.
Cut.
Mm-hmm. And he's going down the middle. Hello. That's what she said.
This knife cuts nothing.
That knife.
It's the worst knife.
See, that's why I wanted to open the box. We're already out of time.
Yeah.
I wanted to open the box before we went on.
I got it.
Okay.
Now,
I wanted to open the box before we went on the air, and now we're arguing with each other.
Safely.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we got these little peanuts.
Oh,
all right. So your vacation.
Wait, stop. I think there's more in the box.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're right. There's bubble wrap.
Bubble
wrap.
Pop. Oh, can we pop it throughout the podcast?
This gonna go everywhere.
I'm editing this week. Please don't say.
Okay, here's an item. Hold on. I think there's multiple items in here.
There's two. They're personalized.
There's one that looks.
From what I understand, they are personalized.
Personalized.
There's one for you and one for me.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait. There's more.
Okay.
Wait. There's
more.
There's spare bubble wrap.
Oh wow. That keeps it.
And Craig has popped some of the holes with the bubbles. Son of a. That's the fun of this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what he. Wait, you want to guess which one's for you? Which one's
Why
for
don't
me?
you look at one and then look at the back and then, yeah. So Mike is opening the bubble wrap right now.
Looks like it has. Holy crap! What is this?
I don't know.
It's a car. It's a van.
Yeah.
And it has our logo on it. It has multiple logos on it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
I gotta show that to. Oh, that's the tissue part. You see the. See, it's funny. The people watching this on stream are actually getting a better view of it right now than you are, and you're in the same.
I'm blind as a bat. So yeah.
So
they're supposed to be personalized.
It's a Hot Wheels.
Okay.
I'm gonna open it up.
Okay. How cool is that?
It's neat. Now see what's in the. See what's in the tissue here. Some blotter acid.
Okay.
This one must be for me as the Tool fan. Thank you.
If you would like to send us a gift, feel free to do that. Send it to our post office box, which is Mike? P.O. Box?
P.O. Box 1470. Let me look at it. 1472. Oh, look, it's got Steelers on the back.
That one must be mine.
It might be yours.
Yeah.
Here, I'm touching it.
Okay.
It's the thing is a Lego block too. This thing's got full of surprises.
That is very cool. Craig and Leslie, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was very thoughtful of you.
That is.
Yeah, so they are our newest patrons. They sent us gifts, and if you want to send us a gift, by all means, please do it, and you'll get mentioned on the podcast.
Let me see if this one's any different.
Okay.
Let me see if this one's any different. Oh, this one's mine.
Okay.
This one is yours.
Okay. What does yours have on it?
Mine is the same, and then it has U2 360 on the back. Look at that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
Dude, how do you even do that?
I don't know.
That is really cool.
That's cool. Our first gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspension on these things kind of sucks. But, I mean, it's wonderful.
Don't be jumping it or anything.
And I got some acid too.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
Very
good.
Nice.
Thank you.
So I wasn't expecting the gift because last week, as you remember, week we ran a repeat because I was at Universal Studios and we couldn't record a podcast. So we did a repeat and we threw some bonus stuff in there. Yeah. We threw a shout out to Craig and Leslie, and that pissed off Leslie because now I get this message saying, good Lord, I had no idea y'all would read the dang letter word for word right like I text. I'm so ashamed. I literally started out as an English major. Actually, she says as a English major. Whatever word. It's an English major. I didn't even reread it. Okay, Mike just burned me so bad. So here's the thing. If you want to send us a message, let us know if you do not want us to read it word for word.
We're going to anyway.
Exactly. Like type it out, put it on put it on paper, highlight what words you want us to say and what words you don't. If you don't want us to read word for word.
It's gonna be like redacted. Is that like an X file?
Exactly, just like the Supreme Court. We got the redacted version of our fan mail.
This has got to be the coolest thing I think anyone has sent us.
I know.
I mean, no offense to the flamingos and the zero bars, but this.
You know what? I forgot about the flamingos.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna take off my headset for a second.
Okay. Are you gonna come get yours?
I am. I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna get my car here.
That is awesome.
This is badass,
dude. It's like it's a serial killer van too. It's like a. It is.
Like, how the hell do you open
the
it up?
windowless white van with
very, very cool,
friendly looking dudes on the back.
And apparently, Leslie said this was all Craig's idea, and he made these himself. So, Craig, thank you so much.
Yeah, Craig, you're welcome
you know what?
here.
Let me
anytime.
tell you something about Craig Hull.
Yeah,
he makes our other patrons look like garbage. So, Chris Hughes, Chris Michael, Lisa Coleman Ferguson, if that's your real name, Greg Bodus.
No, wait.
Jason Durbin.
I take it back.
Y'all are going to have to start sending us stuff if you want to be the favorite patron. What?
I don't want to. I'm not going to play favorites here, but the picture that Lisa sent of her kissing the aardvark was really.
Did you see?
It was really cool.
Everyone at Chris's work calls him the aardvark now. Good.
You know, that's why I wanted to start a podcast, is to give people from around the country that didn't know me before.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Tyson Nuggets of Love, made from 100% white meat chicken and no antibiotics ever. These tasty nuggets will bring a spark to any relationship. Hey fellas, here's what you do. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Place the frozen nuggets on a baking sheet and heat for 11 to 13 minutes. While these bad boys are heating up, pour some wine and put on some Peebo Bryson music. Your night is guaranteed to get hotter than these nuggets. Heating time may vary due to certain appliances. Do not handle baking sheet without proper safety oven mitts. Tyson Nuggets of Love. Buy some today.
Were you waiting for me to get to that?
I was waiting.
Okay.
Yes, that's what she said.
So I don't understand why how does this show get this far? It's just that what she said and slurping and
hey, what happened?
Hey, what happened?
Hey, what happened?
What the hell was that?
By the way, we were watching WALL-E for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, and Fred Willard's in it.
Yeah, I know. And I forgot about that until, it's in the opening and an old commercial starts playing and he's in the commercial.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help it. Hey, what happened? And I get a sidelong glance from
everybody
really,
in the family.
Can you stop? It's annoying enough already.
I went on vacation last week.
Where did you go?
My wife is like the most badass wife. She planned a trip for us to go to Universal Studios in Orlando.
That's awesome.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was absolutely amazing. So before, there's always a little bit of drama. And this time around, this vacation, it wasn't family drama. It was great. Absolutely great.
All right.
A couple things happened at the airport before we got to Orlando.
Yeah.
One, they scanned my son Cameron's bag. There's something in the bag. There's a problem with the bag.
Oh.
They had to pull the bag aside.
Did he
they
bring
put
his-
on the gloves. They had to rifle through the
Okay.
bag and take things out one by one. And what did they find in the bag?
Told
that's a
him to
problem?
leave the weed at home, but
I did. Toothpaste.
Oh.
He put his toothpaste in his carry-on bag, and that cost us like 15 minutes at the airport from all the searching and wondering going on. And they confiscated it. They throwed it away.
You don't want random kids brushing their teeth over Georgia.
Don't. I don't understand. I mean, and I'm going to tell the people at the airport, thank you for your diligence. Thank you for doing everything possible for making people safe. I don't mind taking off my shoes. I didn't care that they searched through the bags, whatever they got to do.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they threw the toothpaste away, but they did. Anyway, so we lost the toothpaste. Cameron was heartbroken
Over the toothpaste. He just wanted to go back home.
He didn't want to go to Universal Studios. So, screw this, I'm going home. Anyway, and another thing at the airport I noticed, those yellow signs that they put when the floor is wet?
Yeah.
At the airport now, they look like bananas.
Oh,
They made the wet floor sign look like a banana.
Yeah.
And
I've seen those.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That story doesn't go anywhere.
No.
But, so those
We were
a
in
couple-
danger of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were. Third thing that happened at the airport, this particular time we had just enough time to get some breakfast at the McDonald's.
Oh.
And
what do you do at McDonald's breakfast?
Okay, I love the breakfast burritos.
Okay.
At McDonald's.
That's a good.
You get the two breakfast burritos,
Yeah.
you get the hash brown, and you get the Coke. Okay, because McDonald's puts like 12 extra teaspoons of sugar in their
So
Coke.
are you eating at the McDonald's or are you eating while you're walking or whatever?
No, we had enough time to eat breakfast at the McDonald's in the airport.
So if you sit down, I think you should get the sausage biscuit. Because, I have that problem with food touching my face. I need about that many napkins because I wipe after every bite.
Yeah.
I can't do that while I'm driving effectively.
That's true. That is true.
So,
well, I'm a bigger fan of the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit at the McDonald's.
Okay.
But anyway, so I ordered my food. My wife orders her food. Cameron orders his food. And then my oldest son, Jacob, asks the guy, do you like the breakfast burritos? And the guy says, yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
And Jacob says, well, are they big? I guess they're about, and he holds like his hands out to show the size. And go, oh. What about the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit? I'm just like, would you order something? If we miss our flight because you can't, the boy, I love him to death. I do, but he needs to learn to pre-order, to figure out what he wants in line. Because we had like 10 people went ahead of us. He had time to figure it out. But he's like, I wonder if I should get the sausage, egg, and cheese or the bacon, egg, and cheese.
So I don't want to say exactly how old we are, but me and Bess are both in our, let's just say, mid-40s.
Okay.
Most people start going to McDonald's when they're 1. Mm-hmm. So we have over 40 years of McDonald's experience. To this day, if I take her to McDonald's right now, she's going to stare at the menu and then ask them if they can remove a key ingredient from the thing and not put this other thing on the thing. Mm-hmm. And then when I order mine, invariably what happens is they screw hers up and they screw mine up. I want it like God intended. A quarter pounder with cheese, which should include a quarter pounder and everything that comes with it, plus cheese.
Right, the slivered onions.
You can't order a quarter pounder.
Half a jar of mustard.
Can I get that without cheese? And can you have the ketchup on the bottom, outside the bun? Those things.
Right. Libby wants hers with mayonnaise on it, and they don't put mayonnaise on their burgers.
That's one of the failings of McDonald's because Wendy's does.
What I started doing was if we're in a hurry, I just order like 12 cheeseburgers or whatever, and then give me 4 packs of every condiment you have.
Okay.
And then I just let the kids, if you want ketchup, put ketchup on it. Libby, you can put your mustard and your mayonnaise on it.
Yeah.
And then, because we made a decision months ago that I was not going to order at the drive-thru anymore. Because the kids ask me questions while I'm ordering.
So you have Libby lean over you and yell into the... That's what we do.
Exactly.
I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with... Because here's what I do. Like I said, I order a number 1 with a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Yes, a Diet Coke. Suck it.
Yeah.
And then... well, what do you want? Well, what do they have from one side of the thing?
What do you mean, what do they have? It's on the thing.
And then I want a milkshake.
Everything they have is on the thing.
What do you want in addition to the milkshake? I just want a milkshake. You got to have more than a milkshake. Well, I'll take a fry. Well, small fry? No, 1 fry and a milkshake. You can't do one. And then meanwhile, they're like, "Can you hurry it up a little bit? We got people. There's people waiting."
Exactly. Yeah.
I just go away. I literally lean my seat back. I let her lean over.
Take a nap.
Yeah. And she goes at it like she's doing her taxes.
Let me know when you're done so I can pay.
Yeah,
and we
she
can
doesn't
go
order.
Home.
She doesn't say, "Give me a cheeseburger." She says, "I would like 1 cheeseburger, 1 medium fry, 1 hot dog with cheese. Do you want onions and mustard? No. Did you get no cheese? Yes.
Yeah.
On the 1 hot dog. Yes.
Yeah.
I want 1 small Sprite. It's like very exact. They're still going to screw it up.
They do.
And then she gets to the end, and then she says, whatever he wants. And she jerks her thumb over in my direction. And then I lean up and say, a number 1.
Number 2 meal, please.
With a Diet Coke.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe a separate bag if you have it, because the apocalypse that you're going to put in that first bag, I don't want my food anywhere near it.
Yeah. So, anyway, he finally orders. They give me the stuff. We go back to the table. I sit down, and I realize that our hash browns aren't in the bag.
Oh.
And the one of the drinks was missing. The kids' milks are missing.
Yeah.
So then I just walk past everybody in line. I'm like, I'm missing my hash browns. And, and I'm like, I dare you to ask me for my receipt.
Yeah. At that point, you hit VIP status.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who's in line.
I've done my time.
Some lady could be given birth in the line, and you cut right through there.
Listen, it's not my fault you got pregnant. I need my hash browns.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be more careful next time. Use protection, woman, if you want preferential treatment at the McDonald's.
And the worst is if they have to make new hash browns for you, because then you're getting those little lava cakes with the grease just pouring off of
those
it.
are the best.
I can't take it.
Hey kids, it's now time for Dave's Comedy Corner. You know, if I put as much effort into my job as someone who's trying to eat some pomegranate, I could be general manager of the company.
Waka, waka, waka.
This has been Dave's Comedy Corner.
So we finally get to Florida, and the first day we're there, we go, we check into our hotel, we go to the pool, and...
You got to do that your first day.
Exactly. I'm walking out to the pool. I put one foot into the pool. Whoop! Slipped. Busted I landed on my hip.
Oh.
And my wrist to stop myself. I'm seriously...
You're injured now.
Well...
Wait, the last time you talked about a vacation, you injured yourself at the very beginning.
I was riding a bicycle and got cut big time on my ankle.
Yeah.
So I wiped out, landed on my hip and my wrist, and was able to get up. I thought for sure that, it didn't hurt, but I seriously could have broken everything. And I stood up and did a Pee Wee Herman. I meant to do that. Yeah. So we're in the pool.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're talking, me, Libby, Jacob, and Cameron. The four of us are in the pool, and we're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow
you're having a family meeting.
Tomorrow we're going to Universal Studios. What do you want to do first?
Yeah.
It's going to be badass. Yeah. What do you want to do first? Well, we decided we're going to get up we got up at 4:30.
Good.
We got everybody up and ready.
Yeah.
And we got to the park. And we were there like a half hour before early admission. Okay?
Wow.
But we're standing in the pool, right? We're talking about what we're going to do at Universal Studios. This kid, not my kid, I don't know whose kid he was, because he was just wandering around by himself. He could have been, I don't know, he could have been an orphan.
Yeah.
He walks up to us, and in a funky, weird British accent, he says, well, to be totally honest, the best ride at that park is Hagrid's.
What the hell?
And we're like, okay, Ferb. He sounds just like Ferb on Phineas and Ferb.
That's creepy on so many levels.
And then he just kind of wanders off, and we're talking some more about other things and what other the park says. And he goes, to be totally honest, the funniest ride at the park is The Simpsons. All right, good. Thank you. This other creepy kid is walking behind us, and he's got his head right above the water, and he's like, Ravensclaw.
What in the...
Ravensclaw.
Yeah.
Like, this pool is haunted. I don't know what's going on with these weird kids. And then we see the British kid walk over to some other people, and he's like, well, to be totally honest, the best food you can get at the park is the kebab.
He's like a walking...
I don't know what... Yeah.
He's like a moving Facebook ad.
Yes.
Just whatever they happen to be talking about, he's advertising something.
But it's like the whole time we're at Universal Studios, they're like, Dad, what do you want to do? Well, to be totally honest, I think the next ride we should ride is Kong.
Yeah.
Skull Island. Okay.
To be totally honest, I don't believe a small blue pool could give you an erection. Not completely. Toodaloo.
So we had the creepy kids at the pool. Anyway, we get to the park.
It's like a pack of them.
I know. We get to the park, and we're there for early.
Which one did you start at? Like the main Universal? You walk in?
We went to... Okay, I know I'm going to get this wrong.
Okay.
We went to the park that had the Hagrid's ride, which I think is Islands of Adventure. I think.
Okay, I think so.
I'm pretty sure
that's the one that has the superheroes. It has the Marvel, but it's not Marvel. You can't say Marvel because Marvel's Disney. And this is not Disney.
Oh, no,
did you feel weird?
There was Marvel all over the place.
But did you feel weird?
No.
I did.
Well, I did Google how they're able to have Simpsons and Marvel at Universal Studios.
How are they able to do that?
Well, Disney owns the rights to air them, but they don't exclusively own the rights to sell them. So, Disney's rolling over, spinning up around in his grave wondering, there's 10 cents that I'm not making.
The last time we were there, we were at the Marvel places. And then we went to, they have the downtown Disney, and there's a Marvel store there.
Yeah.
A Disney Marvel store.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that impressive. I felt like saying,
Universal Studios is
Universal over there.
Yeah.
Like kind of thing. And I do regret, I'm sorry to interrupt your story.
No, you're fine.
One thing I regret, and I can't believe I didn't think of this while you were down there. I should have messaged you. What the hell? I wanted a Captain America all over print polyester shirt.
Uh-huh.
And they're stupid expensive, and I never got one because I'm like, that's too expensive.
Oh, you should have said
And
something. I would have
it's
got
been
it. Yeah.
4 years now. I think if you still want something 4 years after you first saw it, you
Yeah.
probably should have gotten it.
Well, they still have
They
they
probably
still have
the
stuff
exact
from the
same
Back
thing.
to the Future ride. Not. They still have Back to the Future ride.
Now I wish I would have messaged you. I could
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Venmo'd you or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So our first day at the park. We
Yeah.
get there at 6:30.
Uh-huh.
Gates open at 7 for
Yeah.
early admittance. Okay.
and you run to
Our plan was we're going to haul ass. We're going to run
Yeah.
straight to Hagrid's.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Because Hagrid's and Velocisaurus are the two rides that you cannot use an express pass on.
yeah.
So we're like, we're gonna do Hagrid's first.
Yeah.
Well, they open up the gates, they let people in. Before you go in, they scan your pass.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then you have to put a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Put your fingerprint down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Jacob's fingerprint didn't work. Libby's fingerprint didn't work. And then they
Okay.
checked her ID. And then
Yeah.
they get to me. Cameron went through fine. Then they get to me. I scan it. Fingerprint didn't work. Scan it. Fingerprint didn't work. Scan it. Fingerprint didn't work. And they're like, "Is that the same finger you used before?"
That's what she said.
And finally, the guy checks my ID. He goes, "You're fine." Like 100 people have went through
Uh-huh.
in the time that it's taken them to scan my finger.
So you can't get
And
on
now I'm
the
like,
thing.
anyway, we haul ass. We run back. We get to the line for Hagrid's.
Yeah.
And we have to check our stuff in at a locker.
Okay.
Okay. And then we get into our line
Uh-huh.
and we're like, oh my God, it was all wasted on the damn fingerprint. And, but
Yeah.
once it started moving, it hustled. It
Yeah.
just flipping hustled. And we were on that ride in about 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
And the Hagrid ride is the most, to be totally honest, it was the best ride at the park.
Let
Hagrid's.
me ask you this now,
Yes.
because you're bringing back memories. Did you guys have the butterbeer?
I did. Yeah. You liked it?
Oh.
I just thought it was okay. Jacob and Cameron lost their mind.
I thought it was stupid.
Uh-huh.
And then Bess's sister, Laura, had one and she got addicted to them. And then we just kept stopping and getting butterbeer. They're like $15 a butterbeer.
Uh-huh.
And then they have a frozen version for like $75. And we
22 if you put whipped cream on it.
the same thing happened to us at Universal. Yeah. That happened at Disney. Like the first day or two that you're there, you're like, I'm not spending anything. I'm making a bologna sandwich and I'm drinking water from a puddle.
Yeah.
And then by the last day, I'm like, $75 butterbeer times
Yeah.
3.
We rode the ride, and then it's like we went to Jurassic Park. That was awesome. We
Yeah.
went over to the Marvel section. That was awesome. The kids.
Did you ride the Hulk ride? The
I
Hulk
did
roller
not,
coaster?
because the Hulk would make me throw up. I
Okay.
did not ride it.
Okay.
But the boys wanted to buy a wand, and they had to buy a
Oh,
wand. Okay,
yeah.
they had.
Yeah.
We have to buy
You have to buy one.
a wand.
Yeah.
We have to.
It's like a tool poster. You
Exactly.
Have to,
They
it's
there was
required.
no. So we
They
went
won't let them on the plane to go back home if they don't have a wand.
That's right. So we went to, was it Oleander's or whatever?
Oleander's,
Oleander's.
ovary.
The ovary shop. We went to the ovary shop.
Okay.
And they were picking out their wands.
Okay.
Okay. And Cameron instantly knew what one he wanted. And Jacob was like, well, do you like this wand? And what, does that one have more curve? Or does that one do more tricks than this one? Or
Yeah.
what if I buy this one? Does it do more tricks
This one
than
curves
that one?
slightly to the left.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
we could have ridden 4 more rides in the time
Yeah.
it took them to pick. And they wanted a wand, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We were there for 4 days. So I just let them pick out a wand.
Uh-huh.
Now, they said, Dad, if you tell them your birthday, they will go and pick out a special wand. And I'm like, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
My birthday's June 10th. Okay, let's go and I'll pick you out a special wand.
Yeah.
And he grabs one off there you go. Ooh. It's like, this one says Kramer on it. Yes, it's a special one
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no special ones. They grabbed one off the top shelf that was dropped and broken and they taped back together. So
Give this to the old guy.
exactly.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Chopsticks. Okay, we know it's easier to eat Oriental food with a fork. But put a pair of these bad boys in your hand, and you're guaranteed to look like the smartest, most talented person at the table. Hello, I'm Dave Lay. I love eating with chopsticks and judging people who are simply too stupid to use them. So feel superior to others and buy your own pair of chopsticks. Available wherever quality Oriental dinner utensils are sold. Now, back to you losers in the studio.
The Simpsons ride was my second favorite ride. Okay. And that was on the other part of the thing.
Yeah.
And you've ridden that one, right? Or
I can't
did you
remember.
or did you not?
I think we may have. I seem to remember.
Yeah. Sideshow Bob is trying to kill them at the amusement park.
I think we
Okay.
wrote it. Are you in a big donut?
No, you're in a ride. You're in like a roller coaster.
Are there pink donuts that come out at you?
No.
I don't know if we rode that or not.
But that leads me into this second part of the story. So, The Simpsons, if you go to Universal, I mean, absolutely go ride the Simpsons ride. It is hysterically funny and so much fun. Outside of the Simpson ride, there's a Quickie Mart, there's a Krusty Burger, there's Cletus's Chicken Shack,
there's the beer place,
there's the Moe's Tavern, and then there's the Lard Land Donuts.
Okay.
So
there's the big donut,
big pink donut.
That's why I'm thinking.
It's a giant pink donut that the fat guy's holding up.
Yeah.
Lard Land Donuts.
Yeah.
So the boys are like, Dad, let's get some donuts. Can we get donuts? Can we get donuts? Hey, Dad, can we get donuts? Can we get donuts? Can we get donuts?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go and get donuts. So I've got an extra $50. Let's go get some donuts. Libby says, "Wait a minute, they're not selling donuts. They're selling like one big donut."
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? It's just one big donut? Because it said $16.99. So I thought you got like a box of donuts for $16.99, but you get one.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I don't know if I want to waste my money on this or what. This girl was walking by. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I see your donut?" Then I realized that doesn't sound right. But she says, "Sure." So she showed me. She showed me her donut.
Yeah.
It was a nice donut.
Yeah.
And so we bought it and we split the donut.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely delicious. While we were at Universal, there's a place called City Walk. And on City Walk is a Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes.
The Hard Rock Cafe in Orlando is the biggest Hard Rock in the world.
Yep. We went there. Yep.
Ginormous.
Yes.
I absolutely loved it. We sat in the CBGB section. Okay. Which is the punk bar in, is it Seattle or New York?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway, Paige, our waitress, knew everything about, she's like, yeah, that's Nirvana, that's Pearl Jam, and the Ramones are over there, and this and that, whatever. And she tells us that outside of the Hard Rock is a piece of the Berlin Wall. And I thought she was screwing with us.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, seriously, there's a piece of the Berlin Wall outside. I'm like, why is it at a Hard Rock?
Where would you go if you were a piece of the Berlin Wall?
And she said, well, it is historical. I'm like, I know it's historical, but it's like, you know, why is it? Did the Beatles record a song at the Berlin Wall? And apparently people were throwing albums and music over the Berlin Wall to other parts, but I don't know. So we went and we saw a piece of the Berlin Wall.
Wow, yeah.
And then she starts talking about some of the things that are on display. And one of them was a drum set that's hanging on the wall.
Okay.
And let me find my hang on real quick. Here, you go ahead and talk while I sit and find
I don't have anything to say to these people.
She said, there's a drum set that's hanging on the wall.
Okay.
And when we got it, it was covered in blood. Because the drummer was shot one night, or one of the band members was shot. And when we got the drum set, it was covered in blood, and they cleaned all that off. But she says, but I was thinking, leave the blood on there. Because
that's what I was thinking.
That's like cool.
Yeah.
And she goes, I mean, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there eating my food. She goes, come here, I'll show you. I'm like, okay. So I get up and she points it out.
Yeah.
And the drum set was Vinnie Paul from Damage Plan.
Okay.
Also, I believe he played in Pantera.
Vinnie Paul. Yeah, Vinnie Paul.
From Pantera.
Yeah.
So the Pearl drum kit was used by...
Was that Dimebag Darrell?
Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. That drum set is there?
That drum set is there.
Holy shit.
And they cleaned the blood off of it.
They probably should have kept that on there. That would be...
I'm like, they probably should have kept the drum set not on display as evidence.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that was wild. But Paige...
I didn't think that I would actually know who it was that got shot, but then you said, Vinnie Paul.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Dimebag Darrell.
Did I mention that when we were at the Simpsons ride, I met Krusty the Clown?
You not on the air. You mentioned it upstairs.
Okay, so it's a guy in a Krusty the Clown costume.
No.
Maybe may not have been a guy, may have been a girl. I'm not trying to be sexist.
Yep.
But Libby's like, Darin, oh God, there's Krusty the Clown. I'm like, what? And so I ran over and said, hey, Krusty. And the dude in the costume gives the thumbs up.
Yeah, because he's just like a 15-year-old kid.
Starts bouncing around like, yeah, I think you're cool. And so I got my picture taken with Krusty the Clown. That was awesome. Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Do you want to hear some things that were overheard at the park?
Yes, I do.
This was very awesome. So, there was a guy talking to, I assume it was his wife.
Okay.
And he said, and I wrote this down as soon as he said it, you tell me to be a free spirit, and whenever I try, you say we don't have time for that.
That's what he said.
When have you ever told Libby, honey, I want you to be a free spirit? I'm like, I just wanted to butt in. I'm like, can you be a guest on my podcast? There was a woman working a ride, and she lost her mind, and she looked at Libby. She says, I think I'm going to hit somebody.
Okay.
That was fun.
Okay.
There was a woman, and she looked straight at her husband, and she said, you're about to drive me insane. You need to relax. And one of the guy working at the hotel, while we were waiting to get our bags checked in, he asked where we were coming from, and I said we live in Cincinnati, and he goes, "Oh, you guys have a Kings Island? Is it Kings Island?" I said, "Yeah, we're season pass ticket holders." He goes, "Oh man, I really want to go up there and ride the Son of Beast."
Yeah, he's a little late.
And I said, "Yeah, the Son of Beast has been out of commission for 12 years. It's not even there.
Yeah.
Not only is it not running, it's not there."
You could have just fed him all kinds of it killed a family.
Yeah.
You know, it caught on fire.
There was at the hotel we stayed. It was one of those where you could ride a water taxi.
That's
which
awesome.
was awesome.
Yeah.
And there was a little kid named Ethan. Okay.
Oh, it was the same kid?
No, he's a different
actually, riding a water taxi is the preferred.
It's the preferred travel here. So this little kid was crying.
Okay.
And his mom was trying everything she could do to calm him down because they missed the water taxi. Okay, one comes like every 10 minutes.
Wow, okay.
So they missed it, and he thought they were not going to the park. And she was trying as hard as she could try to calm him down.
Yeah.
And his dad had went back to the room to grab something real quick, and that's why they missed the water taxi. So he was mad that his dad wasn't there, and So I butted in and saved the day. I said, "Hey, buddy, what's the problem? Everything okay?" I said, "Are you going to go? You going to go to Universal Studios?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You going to get a wand?" "Yeah, I'm going to get a wand." I said, "Which kind of wand are you going to get? The one like like Harry Potter? You're going to get a wand like Bilbo?" He goes, "Bilbo doesn't have a wand." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure Bilbo has a wand." I said, I've seen Harry Potter and the Fellowship of the Ring 20 times. Don't tell me Bilbo doesn't have a wand. Okay. Yeah. He goes, "Bilbo, but that's not the right movie." I said, "Bilbo has the green wand and Darth Vader has the red wand."
Okay.
He goes, "Darth Vader."
Yeah.
and he keeps getting more and more. I said, "Look, I'm not going to let some 13-year-old tell me."
Like your plan to calm this kid down was start a fight with him,
and then he's just like, "You're confusing me," and I'm like, "All right, okay, look, dude, you and I will agree to disagree, okay?" And he looks at his mom like, "This guy's crazy," and she looks at me, and I swear she goes, "Thank you, thank you so much." I'm like, I did something.
So you became the bad guy.
I did
for that.
I did.
Right, that's a good place.
I calmed everything down. Last story about the park. I told you about the problem with the fingerprints. Okay, every time we went into the park, we had to do our fingerprint 2 or 3 times, and they would check our actual ID. So it's our last day at the park. I go through. They check my fingerprint. Nothing. They check it again. Second time, they let me through. Then they let Jacob through. They won't let Cameron in, and then they won't let Libby in. And we had walked up a little bit, and we turned around and noticed that they're still not in the park.
Yeah.
And I looked at Libby. I said, "What's going on?" She's like, "They won't let us in."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What do you mean they won't let you in?" She says, "They won't let us in." Yeah. And then she calls me. She says, I've got to go to customer service and handle this.
Yeah.
So she had to go wait in a line that had 15 people in it. And Cameron was on that side with her. So he was sitting like on a bench waiting on her.
Yeah.
And Libby says, and she was starving. We hadn't had breakfast yet. She says, "Tell you what, why don't you run and get you and Jacob eat?" I'm like, "Well, you haven't eaten." I'm like, "Okay." So I went and got some croissants at this place where there's this delightful old man who I wanted to adopt as my grandfather. God, I just absolutely love this old man. He was so nice and sweet. And it's like if I lived next door to him, I would constantly go and check on him and buy his groceries. I would shovel his driveway. I would sit and I would read with him every Tuesday. I love this man. He was awesome. I went and I bought breakfast, and then I go back. Now, I don't leave the park because I'm afraid I won't get back in.
Yeah.
So I'm sliding food through the gate, and I'm sliding it over to Cameron through the thing, and then he would run into Mom. It's like we're in war-torn Poland, okay? And so he takes the food and runs it over to Libby, and then he gets his, and he's sitting there eating while she's waiting in line eating, and it takes like 40 minutes for her to for them to let her back in the park. They gave her a comp pass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we lost an hour of park time. But anyway, she finally gets her comp pass, and when she walks across, I swear it was like I got her across the border. I brought her into a peaceful country, and that was our experience.
Wow,
at Universal Studios.
Wow.
All in all, I give the park I'll give it a 5-star rating.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good place.
Any problems with the park was with the other people who were there, but man. It was absolutely amazing, and anybody who so I'm not going to tell you how much we paid to go.
Yeah,
but Jacob, he ain't going to college. Okay.
Yeah,
and so the amount of money we spent on that wasn't even close to what we spent on food.
Oh yeah.
$17 for a turkey leg, $7 for a churro.
Yeah.
$7 churro, my ass.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I don't know how you are, but I get numb to it. I'm Captain Thrifty the first day or two, and then it's just like, what is it? I need a piece of gum. How much is gum? $50 a piece. Okay, give me 3 pieces because I might get bored.
Exactly.
Yeah. We just booked everything for our vacation in June. So I'm getting the benefit of, I'm doing it that way. So like I see all this money leave now and I'm like, oh my God. But hopefully by June, I'll forget about it.
Yeah.
And then I'll be okay to spend money on food and you know, things.
Yeah.
Like water.
You know who else has expensive food?
Yeah.
The airport.
Yeah.
When we were flying.
They know you can't go anywhere else.
I know. We were flying home and we got to the airport. And the airport was just absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Millions of people at the airport.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any problem with our bags, but the dude's like, take off your hat. I'm like, okay, I'll take off my hat. You know, and then they just weren't very nice at the airport.
Yeah.
And we finally get through and then we find our terminal. And I was like, okay, you guys sit here. I'm going to find us something to eat. There was a Burger King. There's 30 people in line.
Yeah.
And I got in line. And I think we had 40 minutes before the flight, which you would think is enough time. I waited for 10 minutes and the guy, the first person in line, still hadn't completed his order yet. So I'm like, we ain't getting anything here.
Yeah.
So I go back and I tell Libby, I said, it's not going to happen at Burger King. She goes, okay. Yeah. And she's starving. And she says, here, you sit and let me see if I can find something else because we're absolutely starving. And so Jacob was watching Cameron. She went one direction. I went another direction. I did find a place that sold candy bars and some chips.
Say Doritos, $30.
Bugles. Yeah. I bought a thing of Bugles.
$20.
I bought some Twix and some Reese cups.
You had to put your car up.
She found a place that had, we couldn't find any drinks. So she bought 2 apple juices for the kids. We spent $40 on junk food and that was our dinner.
Yeah.
And the kids didn't care. But that was our dinner.
Those are
because
the worst,
only thing they give you on the plane is those biscotti cookies, which are delicious. I love those. But I mean, we're just starving to death.
We've had those situations on road trips where it's like it becomes very clear that this bag of Doritos and Snickers bar and Mountain Dew that you're getting at a BP is your dinner. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to feel horrible for the next 18 to 20 hours.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we get to our terminal. And, you know, we'd had just a day. It was just really, we were absolutely exhausted. And there was, I don't know if you're like this in an airport. Is a part of you like, are we in the right place? Am I supposed to be where I'm supposed to be? Because nobody's moving. Yeah. So I go up and I asked the guy, I said, I'm just checking. Can you tell me if the flight to Cincinnati is on time? And he said, and I quote, it's supposed to be. I don't know. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for nothing.
My biggest fear, and well, I've had just the only fear I've had with regards to flying that hasn't been realized is I haven't crashed. So I've got that going for me.
Yeah.
But just about every other nightmare that happens in the airport, I've dealt with.
Yeah.
But I have to say most annoying is there's two annoying things. One is when they switch where the flight is.
Oh,
at the last minute.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they do the connecting flights, there's just not enough time. And if a flight is late,
no,
you can't. Now, there are some airlines where they will put you, the other flight will wait. You know, especially if it's a big flight, like if you're going across the country or you're going to Europe or something, it'll wait. But most of the time they don't. If it's a little puddle jumper thing, they won't. So like when I would come, into Atlanta and then I have to go to Cincinnati, they consider that Atlanta to Cincinnati trip a little one. If you miss it, it's like, okay, well, we got another one going tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not supposed to be here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'm supposed to be there.
Right.
Which is why I bought that ticket.
Right.
Well, we had to go because these people that needed to go from Atlanta to Cincinnati tonight, they needed to get there at 9 o'clock, not 8:55 or, not 9:05 or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it's not your fault that your flight was delayed.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. With its unique enzyme action, Diff dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. That's right, half. How many times have you walked by that guest bedroom and said, one of these days when I have time, I'm going to tear out that nasty Brady Bunch-looking wallpaper and put in something new? Well, there's no time like now to do it. Diff is fast and easy. And did I mention that no steamer is needed? You'd have to be crazy to use any other product than Diff. So go down to your corner hardware store and buy some Diff and tell them you heard about it on Irritable Dad Syndrome. Now back to you, Matt and Darin.
So we had a slightly different trip that we went on. We went to the wonderful state of Indiana.
That's where I was born.
Were you really?
Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to be awkward.
Yeah. Say what you want about Indiana.
Okay. So I've been to Indiana a couple of times. I went for a job interview in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
About 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't get the job.
Yeah.
Glad. And I went to a Pearl Jam concert in Noblesville, Indiana.
I've been to a concert at Noblesville. Yeah. That's where I saw Billy Idol one time.
Well, so the thing with that story is that Pearl Jam does a thing where they release bootlegs of all their concerts. So I have that concert on CD.
Yeah.
And I specifically remember that concert in that I drove from about 3.5 hours away, and I got to my seat with Fancher and Jason and Kevin. I got there right as Pearl Jam walked out and played the first chord. Like you're saying, hey, I'm huggy. Yes. So I'm hugging everybody. And then, wow, I was like, I was like, got there.
Oh, even flow.
He was, it was the Long Road. Long Road is what I started out with.
That's a good opening number.
But anyway, we decided to go to the Indianapolis Children's Museum.
That place is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're driving there. Our big trip that we're going on, our big vacation that we're spending everything on is a trip out west, wherein we're going to land in Denver.
You were supposed to do that not last year, but the year before.
2 years ago and COVID.
Yeah.
So the original trip was from Denver to San Francisco.
Okay.
We realized most of Vegas to San Francisco is out where no one would ever know that you died or whatever, and it would make it 3 weeks.
Where they follow the buzzards.
Yeah, we figured we'll cut that down to Death Valley and then come back to Vegas to fly back. So it's a lot of driving is my point.
Yeah.
In the desert.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I think is going to be awesome. So
hey, kids, look at that rock.
Yeah.
It looks just like that other rock.
So we're driving through Indiana. And I get
corn.
Well, this is a boring trip. And I'm looking back to tell
directions in Indiana. Yeah. You go straight 7 miles, then you take a right at the Red Barn, and you go straight 12 miles.
So I'm looking back to tell one of these ungrateful little kids to shut the hell up, and I realized it was Bess that said that.
Bess lost her.
And then I heard, this is kind of boring. And I realized when I was about to tell that ungrateful punk to shut up, that came from my mouth. And Bess and I had a moment where we were like, you realize that this is an 1.5-hour trip. And we've
already lost it.
We've got like 15 hours of this. I mean, spread out over a couple of weeks, but.
Right.
So I'm a little nervous about ye old trip in June.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went to the Indianapolis Children's Museum. There's no mask mandate anymore.
Right.
There needs to be.
Right.
I'm not worried about COVID. Okay.
You're just worried about just
breath.
coughing
The breath was disgusting.
breath.
You talk about
it's the gingivitis vaccine.
I got adept as like determining which halitosis each person had. It's like you've got some gum issues. Your esophagus is rotting away.
Exactly. And you just drank 2 cups of coffee.
You've eaten an aardvark or something. It was.
Wait, an aardvark doesn't make that noise.
Aardvarks don't bray.
Don't bray?
Yeah. So we would be standing waiting for something to happen. And I would smell a foul air go through, and I'd look over, and there's a mouth breather sitting, like standing there 2 feet away from me. Go. I'm like, oh God. And it was just packed. So they have a dinosaur exhibit. It's really cool. So they have like dinosaurs climbing. Their heads are sticking through the thing.
Yeah, poke through the window,
But they were opening this thing, and there's like all these people, and we're trying to figure out where we're going. And I'm kind of being a jerk. That's what I do.
No.
So,
what?
Shut up. When we talk about what next exhibit we're going to, I was like, oh, well, okay, we have to fight through this Braveheart crowd over here to get to that. Do we really want to do that? We went through the whole thing. It was great. We decided to go eat. We went to the, what's that called? The food court? The food court.
The food court, not the people's court.
Yeah. And we stood in line for about 10 to 15 minutes before we realized we weren't in line for the food court. We were in line for the admission tickets that for some reason was inside.
Hey, what happened?
Inside the museum.
So you're saying
the food court.
I can't get a corn dog.
So then we went to the food court, and then by this time Charlie's in tears because he's so hungry, and I'm practically in tears. I'm like, screw that. I start looking on my phone. There's places within a mile of us all around for food, and I'm like, I would rather go to a sit-down place where we'll pay a reasonable amount than get a $15 corn dog made by that guy right there and have to smell halitosis while I'm eating it because we're all packed on top of each other. So we leave. And we go to Apocalypse Burger.
Oh, okay.
Apocalypse Burger is a chain of 2 restaurants. There's the one in India. Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
There's the one.
2 does not constitute a chain.
It's like an earring, isn't it? At that point, it's not a chain. Or a bracelet.
Yes.
They had the one in Indianapolis that we were at, and then there was one in New York. They were very proud of that. And it was one of those, every place now has the QR card where you do your phone, and now you have the menu on your phone.
Yeah.
That thing. So we did that. It's one of these places where everything's got like a cute name or a cool name.
Right.
It's not the burger, it's the Terminator meat, or whatever the hell.
Exactly.
And these pictures are awesome. And I'm like, we picked a really cool place. And the desserts are root beer floats and a ding dong cake.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. And then, Charlie, I can't remember if it was Charlie. I think it was Charlie or Andrew said, what's a ding dong?
That's what she said.
And I couldn't help it. It just escaped from me.
You have failed as a parent if they don't know what a ding dong is.
They didn't know what a ding dong was.
Yeah.
So I showed a picture of a ding dong. I was very careful. I was very careful when I searched Google for ding dong cake. I didn't know what was going to come up. But thankfully, the hostess, thing came up.
A couple of years ago, I was invited to go on Chris and Janine, their radio show in the morning, and I was doing stand-up comedy before Christmas. And right before I went on, the lady who does traffic, she says, "Hey, would you like a ding dong?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." And so I went in, and they said, "Hey, good morning, Darin. How you doing?" I said, "Oh, my day's going great. Angie just gave me a ding dong," and then it was perfect. It was great.
So we were there, and so the burgers looked fantastic. Okay, and they had weird stuff, like they had white chili or white barbecue sauce, which I don't know what that is.
The hell is white barbecue sauce?
I don't know, but I was excited. It was on the Apocalypse Burger, so I got the Apocalypse Burger. They bring the burgers out. It doesn't look like the picture. And I'm not talking...
Oh, no, it never looks like the picture.
I'm not talking the McDonald's thing where it looks like just a sad...
Looks like some guy sat on your burger.
Yeah, a sad drawing of the burger.
Yeah.
It's like the things that were in the picture that are supposed to be on the burger.
Right.
Like, I think there's supposed to be more than meat, lettuce, and bread. Like you had... The burger was like 6 inches tall on the picture.
Yeah.
It had lots of yellows and reds and things in there.
My burger is gray. Is it supposed to be gray?
As a matter of fact, the kids and Bess, they got the something. It's called like the plain something. It's a plain burger,
the
but
High
it's called
Plains
something.
Drifter?
It's the I don't want any drama burger or something. It's literally just a patty and a bun. Mine looked like theirs, but it had a lettuce on it too. And I'm like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, it was tasty.
Uh-huh.
It was good enough. But anyway, when I was getting up, this gentleman came over and he was like, hey, Irritable Dad. And I'm like, what? Am I being recognized? Is this
right?
Is one of our 10 listeners in the world in this place with me?
In Indianapolis?
And he's pointing at my shirt because I'm wearing my You Need to Learn More Words.
Okay.
But on the back is our logo.
Yeah.
And he said, that's an interesting shirt. Where did you get that shirt? I was like, oh, it's a podcast. And he looked at me confused. And I think his next line was going to be, no, that's a shirt. And I headed him off at the pass. I said, I have a podcast and it's, go to irritabledadsyndrome.com.
Yeah.
And he just looked, he's like,
Yeah.
He's like, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, we're done here. I think we're done here. I think I'm never going to see you again. And so I've been looking for Indiana downloads. We have one or two that happened that day.
What about Florida? Because I wore mine for like 15 hours. At the
park.
We
did have a few from Florida.
Okay.
We did have a few from. Well, we've had a couple of fans in Orlando for a while.
Okay.
But they're from other areas around Florida.
Because I'm convinced.
But you never know. Because like the Indianapolis, I know I keep interrupting you.
No, you're
the
fine.
Children's Museum.
I'm used to it.
Like people come from within 10 miles of that place.
from further.
But in Orlando, they come from around the world.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
We can have a download from Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
because of your shirt.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Sears.
You were talking about driving in Indiana. My grandparents lived there, and the first time that I brought Libby to meet them, she had fallen asleep in the back of the car. My mom and I were going, and she was going with us. So she fell asleep in the back. And she wakes up, and we're in Indiana. And this was the time of year where there was no corn. It had all been picked, and there was no soybean or nothing. It was just absolute flat. It was you could level, use it as a level. And so she looks up, and she's just as confused as can possibly be. And her exact words were, Spider-Man would be totally out of luck fighting crime in this place. Got no buildings to swing back and forth. Yeah. And I've used that in my routine ever since. But I mean, she's like, what the hell is this place? She's from Tennessee.
Yeah.
She had never seen anything that flat.
Yeah.
Ever.
So you brought up Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I gotta throw this out to you.
The Spider-Man ride at Universal is kick-ass.
That is kick-ass. Yeah. So you and your children have a PlayStation.
Yes.
The Spider-Man game on there.
Yeah.
You guys have that?
Yeah.
Have you ever played it or watched them play it?
I've watched Cameron play. I don't play it.
Pay attention when he's swinging, because he's like actually shooting the web out and hitting the buildings. And it's swinging based on the buildings it's not just like some random thing like it's going off screen.
Exactly.
I was ungodly.
Because I used to always wonder, because in the movies, what's he swinging from?
Yeah, exactly. I did the same thing. And then I was watching this thing. I was like, there's at least one person, probably a team, where when making that game, and like, we want to make this as real. We want to make this superhero swinging through the city as realistic as possible. Because it's got attached to something.
If he hits a building to the right, he's not going to go straight.
Right.
He's going to go to the right.
Yeah.
Straight into the wall.
Yeah. And there's sections where the buildings are low, and I was like flying through there, and I'm like, well, I've seen the movies and the TV. He doesn't have to do it. No.
Right.
They hold you to it. It's like, no, I'm sorry. You went into the low level housing. You're not going to be swinging as much.
Because in the original Tobey Maguire movies, did you see where the web was going? I can't remember.
I can't. I know in the Amazing Spider-Man you do. I know they were focused on that in that one, and I think with what's his face, the new guy, Harold Manchini. What's his name?
Harold Manchini is the new Spider-Man.
I think
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Harold Mancini.
Just the same guy.
Is Kevin Nolan was the new Spider-Man.
When Kevin Nolan is shooting it out there, you see it. By the way, there's a video out there. There's a video out there of bloopers from No Way Home.
Oh,
they are great.
Oh, man. Well, listen, we mentioned earlier that we have a lot to talk about, and we're almost at our limit here for this episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this episode off right now. Okay, we're going to play the music. Dave's going to do an outro, and we're going to wrap it up. And then part 2 of this episode will be next week. In the meantime, we want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, and I'm going to ask you again, become a patron, okay? Seriously, send us money. Help us keep the show afloat, because Mike and I were dying here. We're drinking water, not because we want to be healthy. It's because we can't afford anything else.
That's right. That's right.
Please, I beg you. And send us a gift like Craig Hole did.
Yeah. And he set the bar pretty high here.
He did. Yeah, that's better than those stupid ass pink flamingos. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week for part 2 on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
All right.
That's the show. Dave Lay out.
Well, to be totally honest, the best ride at that park is Hagrid's.
Give up. The day may come when we'll give up on fruitless searches after a mere 11 minutes, but that day is not today. The day may come when our favorite reptile may be lost from our memories and his enduring love of mushrooms forgotten, but that day is not today. Today we search. We will search for him in the streets. We will search for him in the trenches. We will search for him in the alleys and the mini-malls and the cul-de-sacs of this fair land. We'll search for him in the multi-level car parks and municipal recreational facilities. And we few, we happy few, we small band of brothers and girl from across the street, we shall not cease till he is found.